After being away a while, some of this may have been covered, but to me it's still worth talking about. The largest cinema trade show in the world, CinemaCon, was hosted in Las Vegas, and what came out of it is beginning to push against that short thesis on AMC. Up to this point, short sellers wanted to push AMC to zero, under the assumption that theaters were a thing of the past and streaming would take over. With the pandemic crippling their industry for over a year now, the opinions being shared during this conference are very telling of how filmmakers feel about the last year. AMC's stock has now moved into a multi-week uptrend, which could be signaling that shorts are losing control again. Let's talk about the movies returning to AMC. Let's look at what's been happening with the stock price, and let's get to it. What's up YouTube, James from Thursday Media here, and in this video we're looking at a shift in attitude towards theatrical releases and why that shift may be a positive thing for AMC. CinemaCon started in 2011 to bring film industry professionals together for product presentations, exhibitions, and promotion. But after their 10th annual gathering got canceled in 2020, the convention was ready to get started again. While the nice movie trailers and new technology showcased are great, the discussions around the state of the movie industry was, to me, the most important part. Sony's presentation was forward in its distaste of hybrid movie releases. They pointed to the theatrical success of Free Guy being attributed to the fact that it's a good movie and they didn't stream it upon release. Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins called for a post-pandemic commitment to theatrical releases. And as people are looking forward to getting back to normal, AMC would be a major beneficiary if studios committed to follow suit. And one thing that would be majorly beneficial to me is if you hit the like button so that YouTube knows that we're still in the game. Movie studios are beginning to push back a little bit on streaming releases. And when you think about how streaming services work, it makes sense. When a movie goes to theaters, it gets spotlight and focus, but because streaming services suggest movies heavily based on your viewing history, new releases can easily be overlooked if it's not a genre that you're normally watching. That theater focus and attention is lost in the massive libraries of the service. Even stream king Netflix is beginning to look at capitalizing on its best new release titles, weighing the benefits of skipping a straight-to-stream approach. If juggernauts like Netflix adopt a theatrical window, their injection of new movies could pull in viewers and breathe more life into cinema theaters. The real question right now is whether or not the current conditions warrant moving back to a more traditional style. With Greek letters impacting local attendance policies and people's willingness to gather in public, industry leaders are still torn on whether to delay their major releases or continue the hybrid model. But a series of box office hits may settle the debate sooner rather than later. Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings has had a very strong 2-week run, and that could be attributed to its theater-only release. In comparison, Black Widow dramatically dropped on week 2 and sparked star Scarlett Johansson to file a lawsuit against Disney, stating that the on-demand release via Disney Plus hurt her bonus earnings that would have been generated from the box office. So even actors and actresses currently have a vested interest in their films going to theaters, at least until bonuses based on streaming views are included in their contracts. Point is that it seems most of Hollywood from the filmmaker's standpoint wants their films on the big screen, despite the constant noise that theaters are dead and streaming services will ultimately be how we consume new content. I hope what we see in the future is a compromise of major hits being released to theaters while smaller budget, genre-specific movies go to streaming. And it wouldn't be a bad balance, as streaming services could keep exclusive new content coming to their platforms while capitalizing more on those big budget blockbusters by sending them to theaters. Adam Aron even lauded the decision by Disney to give theaters an exclusive window for all Disney movies through the end of the year. And maybe it's time for those in Hollywood with an interest in keeping theaters open to come out in support of doing so and press back against the Wall Street money betting against their industry. If major studios and actors want to shift back to theaters, then it chips away at that short thesis that AMC and other movie theaters are dead in the short term. I think that the stock price of AMC, while not moving solely on this opinion, is definitely not hurt by it. AMC's stock price has had 5 straight weeks of gains, and this isn't by chance. The positive pressure being placed on the stock is likely due more to its growing squeeze potential than fundamentals or news. But when more and more good news rolls out in favor of theaters and the value that they bring to the movie experience, it leaves the short sellers with only one argument, and that is that AMC is fundamentally overvalued. Retail investors have largely ignored negative news against AMC for most of 2021 and continue to buy and hold the stock against expert opinions. Now that there is some positive information for the theater industry, I suspect this will only create more diamond handers and new investors hoping to get in on the potential squeeze. There is a growing call for movies to get back to theaters, and pretty soon we may see how AMC reacts to positive catalysts. With enough of them, we may get that squeeze that we've all been holding for. But as always, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a regular guy with a regular job, just happy to see some movies back in theaters. So always make sure that you do your own research before making any financial decision and that you make financial decisions that you're comfortable with. If you're interested in investing and need a place to start, I'll leave you some links down in the description below that'll help get you started. Some of these are even offering free stocks when you sign up and make your first deposit. If you like this video and you want more like it, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I try to post twice a week unless I throw in a bonus. Catch a movie, hang on for the show, and thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.